Okay, so what's up, guys? We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff going on right now within Black Ops 4 Zombies, a bunch of stuff regarding the Black Ops 4 Easter eggs being completed. Today we had the Voyage of Despair Easter egg finally completed. The 9 Easter egg was completed yesterday. Now we have Voyage of Despair, and we're going to go through and actually get these Easter egg ending cutscenes one by one. And obviously right now, Blood of the Dead is the map that we really are just so confused about. That's going to come probably last, but right now we just are looking at different leaks, different things. Yesterday we talked about the boss room, the boss fight arena, and now we're going to be talking about an extension of that within this video, a secret room on how to get to that boss fight arena, that final fight that we're going to have for the Blood of the Dead Easter egg. So we're going to be looking at a bunch of stuff like that within this video. If you can leave like, that'd be greatly appreciated. If we can go for 50 likes, that would be sick. And let's get started. So up on screen here, you're going to see just the cutscene running in the background of the Voyage of Despair Easter egg was completed today. Noah J, Smart Guy, and one more guy. I forgot his name, but they completed the Easter egg. I think Greg FPS was in that game too, and he lagged out apparently. He got blue screen, so I'm pretty sure he was in that game. That sucks. That's crazy, but you know, he was a part of that Easter egg as well. He just wasn't there for the ending. But anyway, you know, that obviously is an Easter egg that they were working on for a while as well, along with 9. Now the Chaos storyline is done and out of the way. The Voyage of Despair Easter egg ending cutscene to me wasn't that interesting. Nothing too crazy was happening. This was again before the events of 9. Really, 9 is a bit more impactful. So if you want to really look at anything regarding the Chaos storyline and how it's going to progress forward, really 9 I feel like is the map to look at. Voyage of Despair, obviously there's storyline within it, and I haven't gone too deep into the storyline for that map, but all I know is that most of the continuation of that storyline happens within 9, since it's after the events of Voyage of Despair. So that's that. Now let's talk about what's a bit more interesting to me, at least, Blood of the Dead. So again, the Blood of the Dead arena for the boss fight, or presumably the boss fight that we're going to see at the end of this Easter egg. You know, the area was found on theater mode, and it's outside the map. Pretty much our only issue was that we didn't really know how to get to that point. Obviously, we're not, you know, that far into the Easter egg, so once we get through the Easter egg, you know, we'll figure out what we're going to do, what we have to unlock, if we're going to be teleported there or not. You know, that will happen eventually. But going through theater mode, someone on Reddit, I'll leave a link down in the description below to this person. Definitely check him out. You know, he went through and he found a bunch of stuff regarding this connection between the map and this boss fight arena, and it's a whole secret room. This is not just like a random rendered location in the map that people see, and sometimes it's like, oh, this could mean something, and those obviously are very interesting, but this is like a bit more crazy. You know, this has full-on zombie spawns. Like, this is a actual secret room within Blood of the Dead. So you're going to see here the image up on screen. This is the spawn room, and this gated door here, this locked door, you actually can go inside of it, and that's going to be probably one of the doors to go into the boss fight. You know, once you're in there, I'll show this series of images. This is the first thing you see. There's a zombie spawn window right there. Then there's some stairs. You go up these stairs, and this is where you go to next, this different corridor. So again, like I said, this is not just a small little secret room that they rendered by accident, or they rendered for no reason. Like, this is obviously a playable area. It's locked behind the door for a reason. Obviously, for the Easter egg, you go up here to the top and you're moving through. There's 4 yellow lights and 4 sets of buttons on the wall. Here's, you know, zoomed in of that. And again, you know, we're not so sure exactly what these different sensors and buttons and lights actually mean, but again, this is probably going to be sort of the final step. Maybe you place some items there, maybe you all have to, obviously it's 4 players, you know, you all have to be there to click something, and then probably at that point, you know, in that area, you either move to the boss fight, you get teleported, but pretty much the action will happen there. So that is, you know, sort of the entrance to this boss fight arena location. Just another image up on screen from what we saw yesterday. You know, to get to this area, you have to go through, you know, this secret room from the spawn. So again, how do you actually, you know, activate the secret room? that's clearly going to be just up to completing the Easter egg. Once we move through the Easter egg, and once we start, opening these doors and getting these different quests done, we'll see exactly what that door is going to give us. Maybe, it isn't the Easter egg ending right there. It seems like it, those 4 buttons, but maybe, you unlock the spawn room door, you go into that secret room, and it's just like the middle of the Easter egg. Maybe it's not even for the ending. That does seem like the ending, though. That does seem like the place where you teleport to the arena, the boss fight arena. But again, you never know what the deal is. So also, one more thing here from Classified, and again, this is a bit more of just a normal thing. Obviously, the Blood of the Dead is pretty sick. It's more of a larger secret room, but Classified, still something cool here. It's another secret room behind one of these zombie spawn doors, windows, whatever. It's pretty much, I think it's just a door. But if you go in here, someone, again, on Reddit, and someone, he was streaming on Twitch, I'll leave those links down in the description below. He pretty much, went into the room, obviously on theater mode, and saw a bunch of stuff within this room. It's rendered in a very weird fashion for it to be something of, some sort of importance. He was also saying that, when he threw grenades at the door, it wasn't really exploding, so that means the door, usually, at least usually in these games, that means the door, is supposed to move. It's supposed to be some sort of animation within the game. So obviously that, means, or doesn't necessarily mean, but it means that the rendered room is there for some sort of reason. And again, usually they don't just render, or especially highly render and detail these rooms. One, if you cannot see it and it's, obviously not for a purpose, they're not going to do it. Sometimes they render rooms within these different zombie maps, but they're rendered because you could see them. So some of the maps or some of the rooms in Classified, when you look out from the zombie windows, they're rendered in detail because you obviously don't want unrendered rooms in the map. It'll just make the map look bad. But if there's a room that's behind closed doors, you can't see it, and if you go into theater mode and you look in and it's all detailed for no reason, obviously that room's going to be used for something. There's got to be something there. So that's that with that situation. Classified, we'll see what the deal is there. Maybe it's just for some side Easter egg quest. Maybe you get a certain weapon in there. Who knows? That should be pretty cool to see what happens, if we ever figure that out. Also, another thing with Blood of the Dead, we are also going to be, possibly seeing a Brutus zombie boss. This is something I actually didn't cover and I didn't talk about, but this Brutus zombie boss, we theorized yesterday a little bit, or at least I did within my video, where I talked about, okay, we have the arena and it doesn't look that big of a location. It doesn't look like a location where you can have a large zombie boss, and I personally thought, obviously, you could think, and I said in my video yesterday, maybe we'll see multiple Brutuses or Bruti, running around, and maybe, I can really, that's the only thing I thought of. And obviously there's actually some leaks pointing towards a sort of giant Brutus type creature, this mutated, Brutus that we're going to be fighting, the Super Brutus. But I still just don't see it happening. Obviously, maybe it's not going to be what we think. Maybe it's not going to be, running around chasing us necessarily. Maybe it's going to be off to the side, up in the sky. Maybe it's going to be centered in a certain location. So obviously, we're not so sure, how exactly it's going to spawn into the game and how it's going to be played out. But pretty much, that's most likely going to be the main guy we're fighting. We're obviously going to see a much larger scale boss fight than probably any of the maps. This is Blood of the Dead. This is a very important map, and there's a lot riding on this map, and there's probably, again, going to be a lot happening after this map. There's a lot they need to explain. There's a ton of directions they could go. They could bring the premise crew with this storyline here. So I don't think it's going to be as simple as just, fighting this super giant Brutus boss. Obviously that's going to be cool and that's a sick boss fight, but I think there's going to be a lot more to that. Maybe even fighting the Shadow Man. Who knows? I'm just trying to think big, and I'm not trying to think simply as just, Blood of the Dead. Obviously you have a bunch of Brutuses running around, and then you have the large Brutus, and then that's it. I just don't see that happening. Obviously that's the simple way, and that's the, probably what they're going to do, unfortunately, but I think it could be a lot bigger than that. So right now, let's just look at the Super Brutus as this boss, but, you know, expect hopefully something a lot bigger, something a lot, you know, different from what we've seen before on any of these different maps where we've seen sort of boss fights. So, you know, that being said, that's pretty much it with this video. A bunch of stuff going down within Black Ops 4 Zombies. We're getting through these Easter eggs. We're finding out a ton of different stuff. And I do have a feeling that we're probably going to be figuring out new stuff every single day. I feel like Treyarch, you know, try to pack in a bunch of information, a bunch of Easter eggs, a bunch of different quests, and I honestly feel like they're just, you know, they're in the game and they're almost locked, and they're just gonna unlock them at certain times, so we're really not gonna find anything. I mean, that's just a theory, but I think they have so much within the game that we're just gonna continue to find new stuff, new ways to, you know, complete Easter eggs, just all this different stuff continuously for the next couple of months. We have 4 different maps, ton of different content, so we're doing good right now. And yeah, so that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, and that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.